All right, so this is chapter 3 test review, page 29 in our packet. We're looking at the 6 graphs. So the first one's in standard form, so I'm going to use opposite b over 2a to find the x value of my vertex, which is 1/3. I could then go ahead and plug it back in. One-third squared is a ninth. Negative 12 divided by 9 is 4/3. Negative 4/3. Plus 8/3 minus 3/3. So that is also going to be 1/3. So my vertex is 1/3, 1/3. Let's hold off to plot this for a second. My y-intercept, vertex or standard form is really nice. It's just 0, -1. It's my c value, is my y-intercept. The axis of symmetry, well, that's just x equals 1/3. It goes through my vertex, so it's going to be a dashed line there. My a value is less than 0, so I'm going to open down. So my vertex is a maximum. All right. So the last thing I need to get is my x-intercepts. The best way to do that is to factor. So I'm going to go ahead and do a times c and b. A times c is positive 12, b is 8. So the two factors of 12 I'm going to use, those are going to be 6 times 2 is 12, and they also add to be 8. So y equals -12x squared plus 6x plus 2x minus 1. And then I'm going to go ahead and factor my grouping. So y equals, I like to pull my negative a out with it, so -6x. So I'm left there with 2x minus 1. The GCF here, if you can't pull anything out, you can always pull out a 1, so it'll be +1 times 2x minus 1. So my two factors are 2x minus 1, -6x plus 1. I use that zero product property to get 2x minus 1 equals 0, -6x plus 1 equals 0. So x equals 1/2 and x equals -1/6. All right, so that's all my information. So with that, I'm going to adjust my scale. I'm just going to call these a sixth. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is actually at 1. This would be -1. So 1/2 is going to be here. -1/6. Ooh, should I have done 1/6 or should I have done 3rd as well? Oh, this is positive 1/6. Sorry about that. Positive 1/6. So that's here. My vertex is at 1/3, 1/3. Just so we can see, I'm going to scale. I'll keep the scale the same. So this is 1/3. So up here at 1/3, 1/3, and then down at -1 would be that value here. So my axis of symmetry is coming in through this vertex. And I can mirror that point over here as well. I can go ahead and draw this in. All right. So there's number 1 from standard form. Number 2 is in vertex form. So I can easily get my vertex. My vertex is opposite the inside. So -4, 24 is my vertex. Let's see, my y-intercept. Let's see. We'll actually just convert this to standard form just so I can get, because I think I'm gonna have to get my x-intercept, I'm gonna need it standard form. So this would be y equals -3 x squared plus 8x plus 16 plus 24. So y equals negative 3x squared minus 24x so minus 48 plus 24 is going to be negative 24. All right, so I'm not going to worry about all this information from here on out. I'm going to just give you what I need to give you for these problems, okay? So my vertex is at negative 4. Negative, positive 28, 24, so I'm just going to put that up here. My axis of symmetry is going to go through that point. So, axis of symmetry is at negative 4. Then if I was doing this problem, I would just pick points like negative 3 and positive 3. Or sorry, negative 3 and negative 5. So when x equals negative 3, we get negative 3 plus 4 squared plus 24. So that'd be 1 squared is 1. So that would be 21 comma negative 3. So negative 3 comma 21. So these are all going to be 4s, 8s, 12, 16, 20. So since it's 21, it's just above that. And 1 over it would be just there as well. See that. I have a maximum. I did some algebra to get my y-intercept if you wanted, but y-intercept you could also just plug 0 in here. So that'd be 16 times negative 3. My y-intercept is 0, negative 24. I'm not going to worry about my x-intercepts here just because it doesn't make sense for me to graph it. I don't need them. All right. Let's look at number 3. So there's 2 ways to do it. I'm going to show, this one's actually not too bad. So I'm going to use that opposite b over 2a because this really is in standard form. It's like there's a plus 0 here that's just hanging out. So opposite b over 2a, that would be positive 10 over 2 times 1. So that is 5. And then when I plug 5 back in to get my y value, 5 squared minus 10 times 5, so 25 minus 50 is negative 25. So my vertex is 5 comma negative 25. I can actually quickly find my x-intercepts here. If I factor this, I have a GCF. So I'm going to use 0 product property. So 0 equals x, 0 equals x minus 10. So x is 0 and positive 10. So from there, my a value is also positive. A is greater than 0, so I'm going to open up. So with all this information, I'm going to plot my 2 x-intercepts, 0 and 10. My vertex is going to fall right in the middle there at 5. Let's see, probably should have put 10 there, but that's okay. axis of symmetry is at x equals 5. And now I just got to go down to negative 25. I'll just say this is negative 25. Give me that point there, and I can go ahead and graph it up. And with this problem also, my y-inter is 0, 25. So there we go. All right, number 4, sorry. Not great to use opposite b over 2a, I'm going to get another decimal, but I'm going to need to find my vertex either way. So opposite 5 over 2 times 1. Negative 5 halves is the x value. To find the y value of my vertex, I'm just going to plug that in. So negative 5 squared, I'm going to use my calculator for this. So I got my vertex is that. Instead, what I'm going to want, my x-intercepts aren't going to be too bad. So I'm going to factor this. My a times c is going to be 4. My b value is 5. So 4 needs to be 4 plus 1 in order to, or 4 times 1 in order to add to be 5. So I get y equals x squared plus 4x plus x plus 4. I'll pull out an x plus 4 plus 1, x plus 4. So my factors are x plus 4 and x plus 1. Oops, sorry, couldn't see that. Okay, now I'm going to set my zero product property. So 0 equals x plus 4, 0 equals x plus 1. So x equals negative 4 and negative 1. So negative 4, negative 1, and then I got to be in between those two, so I'll just go negative 1 and negative 4. And my axis of symmetry is going to be right in between those. There. And I'm at negative 9/4, which is like negative 2.5, so we'll just count these as 1s. So this is just over negative 2, so this is like, we'll say there. I can also get my y-intercept as 0, 4. So 1, 2, 3. So there's a point. So 1 over. So there's my graph for number 4. All right, number 5. It's already in factored form, so I'm just going to keep it and keep moving. So zero product property this right away. Let y equals 0. So x equals negative 3/2. And x equals 7/3. Okay, so now I know that my axis of symmetry is between these two. So negative 3/2 plus 7/3 over 2. Well, not a common denominator, so this is going to become negative 9/6 plus 14/6 all over 2. So that becomes 5/6/2. Turn that into a fraction so I can multiply by the reciprocal. Get it to be 5/12 is the axis of symmetry. So let's just go ahead and do the best we can with this. 7/3, this is over 2. I'm just going to use these as 1 markers today. So 1, 2. So 7/3 would be right there. Negative 1/2 would be somewhere there. My axis of symmetry is going to be in between these. 5/12 is less than 1/2, so somewhere here. Right. This is going to open up. I could throw my 5/12 into this to get my vertex. I'm going to just plug into my calculator for right now just because we'll give you much better numbers on the tests. All right. for example, like this vertex comes out to 5/12, comma, negative 529 over 24. Or it's lower than negative 22. So I'm just going to say, if this was 22, I'm just below it. And I'm just going to give you that much information right now. Like I said, the problems on the test would be a lot nicer than this. All right. And lastly, we get number 6. So I'm going to go ahead and try and do my vertex opposite b over 2a. So negative 2 over 2 times 4, which is 8. So negative 1/4 is my value. When I plug it in, so this is going times 4. I get negative 21/4, or just over negative 5. So that's my vertex. I'm gonna hope I don't think this. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think this one's going to factor very nicely, so I'm not going to find my zeros as long as I found my minimum. And I don't know if I should do that. Yeah, okay. So my minimum's at, let's just call this negative 1/4, and negative 5, so I'm right around here. My y-intercept is going to be at negative 5, so that means at negative 1/2, I'm also at negative 5. And that's good because I should open up because my a value is positive, so here it is. Understand that this is negative 1/4 and that's negative 1/2. So my scale's a little messed up, but that's okay. There you go. That is graphing for all 6 of them. Like I said, the ones on the test should be a little bit easier, or a little bit easier to follow than getting some of these nasty fractions and stuff. You won't be given a calculator, so you should be able to graph them by hand. All right.